Hey church, it's Tuesday's devotional. Today we're in Luke chapter 2. Remember, as a community, we're reading through the Gospel of Luke, and we're hopefully jotting down thoughts and ideas and questions that we may have about this. You can email them to me at pastormaxperez@gmail.com. So if we read a chapter or two a day leading up to Resurrection Sunday, we'll land right on the resurrection story in the Gospel of Luke. So I wanted to just share a short passage and a quick thought on one of the texts in Luke chapter 2. It's when Jesus was a young boy, about to be a teenager, 12 years old. So for those of you that have teenagers or have had teenagers, this is going to ring a bell to you a little bit. And if you are a teenager watching this, you'll understand a little bit about Jesus. And even though he was young, he still had to come under the authority of his parents. But this was an instance where he kind of lost focus a little bit and didn't come under the authority. I wouldn't say didn't come under, but I would say he got caught up in a conversation, and his parents had to come back and get him. So it's found in Luke chapter 2 verses 41 through 52, and it reads, "Now his parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover, and when he was 12 years old, they went up according to custom. And when the feast was ended, as they were returning back home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. His parents didn't know it. But supposing him to be in a group, they went a day's journey. But then they began to search for him among their relatives and acquaintances. And when they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem, searching for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, 3 days, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. And when his parents saw him, they were astonished. They weren't angry, but they were blown away. And his mother said to him, 'Son, why have you treated us so? Behold, your father and I have been searching for you in great distress.' And he said to them, 'Why were you looking for me? Did you not know that I must be about my father's house?' And they didn't understand the saying that he spoke to them. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was submissive to them. And his mother treasured up all these things in her heart." And verse 52 says, "And Jesus increased in wisdom and in the stature and favor with God and with man." Wow. So baby Jesus, little boy Jesus, spent time talking about the Word of God with people in the temple, in the house of God. Young person, it is okay to talk about the Word of God, to gain an understanding, to share your insights, to share your thoughts, to share what you see going on. Mom and dad, it's okay to have these conversations as a family, to talk about the things of God, to hear what they have to say, to really hear and not try to correct and go, "Wow, that's interesting. I didn't see it that way before. Wow, man, that's something we can pray for our kids. That's something we can pray for our nephews and nieces, that they would grow in wisdom, in stature, and in favor with God and with man. That when people get around your kids, that when people get around your nephews and nieces, they don't go, 'Oh man, they're here. Great.' No, but instead they say, 'Man, I like when they come over. Man, I love when they share. Man, that even their creativity is so amazing. I love being around my daughter. Sometimes she gives me a hard time, but I love her creativity and her imagination and her insights to scriptural things, to things that God is speaking to her at a young age, and it fills me up. Like, man, that is amazing.' So church, I want to encourage you, if you have a young person in your house, or if you're connected to someone that's young, give them a phone call today and talk to them and say, 'Hey, how are you doing? What's going on in your life? What's God saying to you? And how's your relationship with God going?' And share your thoughts and hear their insights. And hey, ask them for prayer. Ask a young person to pray for you and tell them what you need prayer for, and let them pray. And even if they just say, 'Jesus help them,' man, that's awesome. Just encourage that and bless that. So hey, church, God bless you. I hope you have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Continuing your reading and devotion.